Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I tell you, I love the idea of community banking. Community banking is really taking a hit with what's happening with federal regulations recently, and it's wonderful to see institutions that maintain the values of community banking like Whitney Bank. And delighted to have Veronica Martinez on the program, and she's brought a guest on today to talk about, really showcasing how a bank can make a difference in the community that they live in. And delighted to have you on. And by the way, the website for Whitney Bank is whitneybank.com, WHITNEY. Veronica, before you introduce us to Meagan Greenberg, I want you to talk a little bit about Whitney Bank and your involvement in the school program.
Absolutely. Whitney Bank, we're based out of Louisiana. We actually operate all along the Gulf Coast from Texas to Florida. We're also known as Hancock Bank in the other states. And, one of our core values for the bank is our commitment to service and commitment to the community. And so being able to collaborate with a company like EverFi, it's been really exciting to be able to work directly with the community and with the kids in financial education. So it was a wonderful event.
Yeah, very good. And go ahead and introduce us to Meagan.
Absolutely. This is Meagan Greenberg with EverFi, and she is the
K-12 program director.
K-12 program director. Tell us real quickly, kind of give us the elevator speech about EverFi.
So EverFi is an education technology company. We started with financial literacy, and we're really excited to be able to partner with corporations and foundations like Whitney Bank, who cover the cost of our financial literacy program in the public schools. So with our partnership with Whitney Bank, we bring financial literacy online education to Aldine ISD, Alief ISD, and the Yes Prep public schools. And they cover the cost so that the schools don't have to pay for it, and the students have access to a high-quality online program that covers everything from banking, savings, credit scores, how to pay for college, so a pretty wide range.
Talk a little bit about how many students are affected directly thanks to Whitney Bank.
So last year, Whitney Bank, across many markets, reached over 4,700 students. Mm-hmm. In Houston alone, we had 20 schools that we worked with. Last year, we anticipate another 27 this school year. So really making a deep impact, and this isn't just a one-time thing. Whitney Bank and Hancock Bank have committed to providing this for a minimum 3 years to these schools. So they're very, very invested. It was really neat was that we really bridge the online with the real world. So this event that we did in Aldine ISD earlier in September, we were able to bring in Whitney employees to really bring to life the topics that the students were learning online through EverFi, bringing them in person. Mm-hmm. And I'll let Veronica talk a little bit about that if you're ready to go down that route.
Yeah, that's fine. Go right ahead there, Veronica.
Absolutely. So our Whitney Bank Day of Service in collaboration with EverFi and Aldine ISD, we had a little bit over 20 bankers out in the community at 4 of the 5 ninth grade centers. And the various bankers that were attending, it wasn't just, the tellers and people from the branch side, the operating side. That included market management, commercial lenders, people from mortgage, bankers from the real estate, residential real estate and construction, and the energy department. And really, we were able to share with the students through their career planning day what it means to work for a bank. What is our role? What is our day in and day out? What does our day at the office look like and day out in the market? So it was really interesting to see the feedback from the students when they shared with us that they were pleasantly surprised to see that working for a bank doesn't mean just being, on the teller side or operations side. There's so much more that you can do when working for a bank and have a career in the banking industry.
I was noticing online there at your website, by the way, again, Meagan, it's EverFi, EVERFI.com. You even have programs for adults. Are those only done through businesses, or can individuals just sign up to be involved with those programs?
So we actually have two kind of parts to that. So a lot of our bank partners who sponsor our programs for the schools do also, come on board to bring on our adult financial literacy modules. What we've actually found is that program is really popular for employees at both financial institutions and other private sector companies that want to do a lot to educate their employees around personal finance.
So if somebody, though, happens to stumble on the site, we've got a lot of people, who are listening today who might be, checking it out, but they don't necessarily work for a company that provides this kind of program. Is it possible for them to participate?
If they want to email me, they sure can.
There you go.
But there wouldn't be a way to access it directly through our site at this time.
Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, financial literacy is probably the single biggest issue out there facing not just young people, but adults. Young people, adults know what they knew as kids because, I don't know, I think there's this multi-generational attitude that people just pick up on how to handle their money. And the reality is more than likely their parents don't know how to handle their money, so they don't have much to teach their kids. And so it becomes a multi-generational problem that has to be addressed at some point. And just because you're an adult and have adult responsibility, doesn't mean you don't address it when you obviously need to address it. And so I think it's a great idea to figure out how to spread this to the larger population. Is there things that the bank does in general to help people with this, Veronica, as well?
With the financial education piece?
with when it works with their clients and that type of thing. Is there an awareness among bank people in positions like yours of a lack of understanding when it comes to some of these financial issues when you're dealing with customers and helping them navigate through that, and probably even a lot of fear around this stuff?
Absolutely. Part of our role as bankers, whatever role that it, I'm specifically on the mortgage side. Part of my responsibility of working at a financial institution and working with directly with the community and my clients is educating them, giving them information on not just the product or service that we offer, but the importance and the value behind what it is that we offer as a bank, and giving them that financial education, that financial empowerment that will help them either on the personal or the business side to make better decisions in the future.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And altogether, it appears that your organization, EverFi, is reaching literally millions with this. Talk about that.
Millions, yeah. Well, we find that, with the advent of the internet, that having an online course, whether it's to teach personal finance or our entrepreneurship course or whatever it may be, that it's scalable by being web-based. So, with the student program, the kids can get on literally wherever there's internet. They log into our site. Every student has a username and password, and they have access to that financial literacy education. Same goes with our adult piece. We actually call it EverFi at Work because these are bite-sized modules that you could do on your lunch break at work. You could access it from your mobile phone. We want to make it easy, and, to be able to do that, it has to be scalable and it has to be accessible. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. And I noticed that you're corporately located out of D.C.
We are. So we're headquartered in D.C. I'm local here in Houston. And in fact, most of our workforce is dispersed across the United States and Canada because we really believe that to have strong, successful partnerships with both our partners and with our schools, that it takes a real person with a real face in the communities that we serve. So, it's Veronica and I here in Houston, but we have folks all over the United States and Canada doing this great work with hundreds of different partners.
Is it typically being done with financial institutions? Are our financial institutions the ones that are typically underwriting it?
Yes. Yeah. Primarily financial institutions for our financial literacy program. Sure. And that's been really successful. That's where we started about 6 years ago, and has just continued to grow. And we're really excited to be able to impact not just one community here or one city there, but really nationwide.
Yeah. Now, obviously, it's a profoundly positive things for those who participate in it. But, the fact that it is financial institutions that are primarily backing it, what's in it for the financial institutions? That's going to be the question that particularly the cynical listener is going to ask. What's that? What do you get out of having a more financially literate? I mean, to me, it's a fairly obvious answer. But what do you get out of a financially literate society?
Absolutely. And, and Meg and I were chatting about this earlier, is that, the bigger goal of the event, our day of service, in our collaboration was to, we're building up the future leaders of America, the future generation, the future bankers, the future, management and leaders in the banking industry and other industries as well. So it's really important for us to make sure that they have that good, strong financial knowledge base at an early age, because that will help them as they grow and become the next generation of leaders.
Okay. But, that still sounds a little on the altruistic side. The reality is that I think it's smart for banks to want people that know how to accumulate, and save enough money to be a credible lender. Someone in which, to have an institution lend them money, in order to grow businesses and to grow economies, because that's how banks grow, correct?
Correct.
So there's and to me, there's nothing wrong with that. I would assume that anyone who listens to a program like mine are capitalists, and that's the cornerstone of a capitalistic system, is the idea of being able to have enough money accumulated, knowing how to use money in order to reach economic goals and objectives, be it for businesses or for individuals. So I think it's a great program. I strongly encourage people to check it out. I give props to Whitney Bank and other banks out there who support objectives like this. That's whitneybank.com, WHITNEY bank.com. And then Meagan Greenberg, thanks so much for being with us. Everfi, and that's EVERFI.com. By the way, what does EverFi stand for?
Well, I like to think that it's that every student should be financially literate by the time they graduate high school. But if you ask our founder, he might tell you something else, but that's what I'm going to stick with.
Yep, that's your story, and you're sticking to it. Veronica and Meagan, thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back tomorrow, we're going to have much for you. I do want to remind you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. Have a great day right here on this station.